Let me guess, you signed up for every free lead magnet and binged on every marketing YouTube video and thought, what am I missing? Why isn't my business exploding like that? Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. Whether you're just getting started or have an established business, entrepreneurship can be really lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Overcoming your fear of launching or building your personal brand or figuring out how to scale, it shouldn't be holding you back. It should be empowering you. On this podcast, we're going to deep dive into the mechanics of what it takes to build your brand, make your mark, and stake your claim in the digital marketing space. I'll be chatting with people from all walks of life and stages in their careers. I will be getting inspiration from real experts who will share their actual strategies and techniques to grow loyal and raving followings and sell more stuff. This is entrepreneurship from people who are already there making it happen. My name is Jeff Mendelson. Join me and welcome to the One Big Tip podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. Today, I am really excited to have Steve Hoffman, who is also known as Captain Hoff. He is the CEO of Founderspace in San Francisco, and it's one of the world's leading incubators and accelerators in the area. He's also an angel investor, a limited partner in August Capital, a serial entrepreneur, and the author of several award-winning books that include Make Elephants Fly and soon to be published Surviving a Startup. So, Stephen, welcome to the show.
Great to be on. Thank you for having me, Jeff.
You and I have just been chatting now for a little bit about co-working, about strategy, and how both large and small businesses can take advantage of this of this new situation that we're all in. Both of us are homebound. We're all self-isolating in our in our own spaces, and this is going to lead to a shift, like a large shift in terms of how people are going to think about work, how people are going to think about building their businesses from their bedrooms, right? And from what you were saying is that you have a lot of experience in terms of guiding these startups and how to think about the infrastructure that they need in order to develop their products. Can you please take a few minutes to introduce yourself, what exactly it is that you do, and what makes you amazing at it?
I don't know that I'm that amazing, but I work really hard. That's one thing. I have been a startup founder. So I founded 3 venture-funded startups here in Silicon Valley. And I worked very closely with other entrepreneurs, with venture capitalists, with the whole ecosystem here. After my 3rd startup, I started helping my friends. They were raising capital and they came to me, Steve, can you help me? How do I raise money? How do I do my business plan? So for fun, I just started helping them over coffee. Then they started asking me a lot of questions. So I began to post those on my blog. I called it Founderspace.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it above. And that led me to start my first incubator. So all these entrepreneurs started to come to me because of the blog, and we started to do roundtables, and then we started to run educational programs, and then we had people coming from all over the world into Silicon Valley who really needed help launching their companies. And I found I loved helping entrepreneurs. It's kind of my passion. I've done it my whole life, been an entrepreneur, and I'm always learning something from my fellow entrepreneurs and the struggles they go through, the obstacles they have to overcome. So I grew the business. We started here in Silicon Valley, and then I began making relationships all over the world. And today we have over 50 partners in 22 countries. So we work with other incubators and accelerators all over the world, helping them run programs, both online and offline. We have our own physical incubators around the world. We have a bunch in China. We're very big in China, all across China. We have different venture capitalists we work with and different funds in different countries. And we are always looking for the next generation of startups, the startups that are experimenting with the new technologies out there and are really pushing the envelope and experimenting and trying new things, because it is our firm belief that even in tough times like this, like we're in right now, where it's economically difficult, there is always a new opportunity, and there's always an opportunity for entrepreneurs.
That's really amazing. So one of the things that I saw your video called Hunting Unicorns, And a lot of the advice that you were giving on that video, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes for this, is that just about all of the advice, the entire video is not just about unicorns. It's really about any business can take that information and apply it, right? One of the one of the things that you talked about, and this is actually your one big tip, is how to feel great about failing, right? And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that. Like, how do you fit that into the business model? A, that you don't lose yourself, completely, and just you know uh, complete this whole venture broke. But how do you take the experience of failing and turn that into a plus that then can be applied to growing your business?
This is one of the hardest things to learn as an entrepreneur. And I'll tell you, for me personally, it was the most difficult because when things are going well, they're going well. You don't even think about it. You just do. You do as much as you can and you keep pushing. But part of being an entrepreneur and part of starting something from scratch, not just joining something that's already going, like a steady job and you just have to do it, but really building something that nobody has tried before, it means you're going to fail. And it means things aren't going to go right. They never go right. The only thing I know about being an entrepreneur is that there is always a problem. If it's not like this problem, it's this problem. There's always something coming at you that you didn't expect that seems like the end of the world. You're always having to twist and turn and navigate, and you're always bumping into walls. And most of all, as a CEO of a startup, you will make mistakes. It is impossible to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has their mistakes. We look up at these icons like Steve Jobs, but he made lots of mistakes, but people only remember his successes. They don't really talk much about the Lisa or the Newton or all these other near catastrophes he had, but they talk about the iPhone and the iPod and all the great things he did. Now, this is true of every entrepreneur. So when you fail, the most important thing I found is that when you make a stupid mistake, when you realize you've spent a lot of time and effort going down one path and you really shouldn't have done that. It was like you're putting all your energy in one direction and you should have been going another direction. When you realize this, you have a choice. You can either stress out about it and like drive yourself crazy, which sucks up all your positive energy. You can get depressed, which doesn't help at all. It just grinds you to a halt. You can criticize yourself, which is really bad because it ends up not just hurting you. It can have ramifications to your employees. You'll be negative towards them, towards your family. You need to stop those behaviors, and you need to look at the failure as part of the process. You need to look at it in perspective. Now, this is what I've learned, and I didn't know this at first. At first, I had a lot of bad habits, a lot of bad mental frameworks when I'd run into obstacles. But the one thing I learned is that whenever things aren't going the way I think they should, I need to step back and I need to say to myself, whether it's a small thing, these small things can seem like big things, or even a big thing. I need to say, in 5 years, will this matter? Will I even remember what I'm stressing out about today? Well, what I'm so concerned with right now that I think is the end of the world, that I think is really not going to, I'm so tense about it. Will I even remember this in 1 year from now, let alone, or 6 months? And the answer is probably you'll never think about it again. 99% of those things that stress you out, they don't seem like anything if you can even remember them. If you can recall, even when you can recall them because they're really, really, really bad, then most of the time you're like, why did I care so much? It really
Why
didn't.
was I so hung up on that one thing?
Yeah, it really didn't matter in the scheme of my life or the scheme of my business or anything with that I had to be so emotional about that issue. So that's today in my work what has made me so much more resilient and actually allowed me to make better decisions and take bigger risks is the fact that I am constantly looking at what I do and and analyzing it from a more objective point of view and saying, look, in the scheme of my life, this thing won't matter. So I'm not going to give it a second thought. Yeah, it didn't work out. I'm going to figure out what I do now. I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to learn from it, right? I don't want to keep making the same mistake over and over. Uh, but I won't allow it to change my positive mindset moving forward.
It's interesting that you say that. You touched on something now, and I'd like to dive a little bit deeper. There are some business people that say that you need to extricate emotion from your decision making process, right? Because business is just that. Like the saying is, it's just business, right? It's just money, right? But just by talking with you and just by talking with other with other successful entrepreneurs, it's not only about emotion, it's also about passion, right? It's also about loving what you do and putting your heart into it. How do you separate that, the passion part and the emotional part, when you are evaluating risk and when you're looking at these different methods for whether I should invest here or whether I should direct my energies there?
Well, you can already tell I'm a passionate person. So I think I come across as passionate. I'm very passionate. I got into entrepreneurship because I was so passionate about my ideas and the things I wanted to change and the things I wanted to do in the world. And I never wanted to have a dull, boring, emotionless life. In fact, I wanted to be full of emotion. I want to care about what I'm doing, but caring about what you're doing and turning that caring into negative energy like stress or self-criticism or depression, that's a different thing. So I think I don't want to lose my passion. And I honestly think passion and feeling emotional about stuff is fine. And look, some of the decisions now I've recognized, right, that because I'm a passionate person, it's the yin and the yang. It has its plus and its minus, right? The plus is that a lot of things that would never happen in life, like people I connect with, opportunities that happen, deals that come across my plate, are because of my passion, right? They're because I'm a passionate person. But because of my passion, I will make mistakes. I will get overly excited about a startup and maybe invest in them when I shouldn't. I will do things emotionally. What I don't do is say, oh, because of that, I'm stupid, or that's a bad decision, or I say, well, that's part of me. That's part of who I am. I am going to be passionate, and with my passion will come good things and bad things. I will try not to make those mistakes. I will try to be analytical. But I'm not going to lose my soul. I'm not going to become a robot for this business. Humans aren't robots. We aren't robots. We want meaning in our life. We want passion in our life. We want to do, I think the best decisions I make are not just monetary decisions, right? About, I'm going to do this because I'll make this much money. They're not like ruthless Machiavellian monetary choices. They're choices because I believe in what I'm doing. I'm doing it more because of other reasons, social reasons. I want to reach out to the community. I want to help people. I have my own dreams and my own visions. I don't think you should lose that. In fact, I think you should fully embrace that, but don't let the process become torturous for you, because being an entrepreneur is very hard. When you do these things, when you have a dream, and when the dream crumbles, and I've had my dreams crumble in the past, that at those times it seems like the end of the world. What I'm saying is that no, that's part of the process. It's not the end of the world. It will happen if you keep reaching for the dreams. If you keep pushing yourself beyond your kind of normal limits, you're going to crash and fall, and you just got to get up as quickly as possible and start reaching again. I think that is my message.
That is a great message. Thank you very much for that. Steve, why don't you tell people where they can reach you, where they can read more about you, and how they can get the book that's coming out?
Oh, great. So if you want to connect with me, just go to founderspace.com. Pretty easy. You can go there. As you said, I made lots of videos, and they're free, so you can watch the videos. We even have a 3-month online startup program. Now, it's pretty cheap, but if you can't afford it, just message us and we'll give it to you for free, especially in this hard time. We don't want any entrepreneur not to be educated. And the books are,
What does that 3-month program entail?
the 3-month program, every single day you receive short videos, really short. videos and other material that will help your company, will help you think through and work through problems that entrepreneurs and startups face. You will also get our startup kit, our online startup kit, which gives you a lot of different resources, links and materials that you can download and go to. So that's there. And then my book, like Make Elephants Fly, is in the stores now. It's on Amazon, everywhere. And the new book is coming out soon. It's Surviving a Startup. It's being published by HarperCollins, but it's not out quite yet, so you can't get it. But that's how you reach me. Go there. You can email us, contact us. I love working with entrepreneurs.
That's really great. Stephen, thank you very much for being here. This has been a lot of fun and very eye-opening, and I'm really excited to be able to put this podcast out to the public. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, and I hope to come back.